Hey guys, it's Carrie Lee with Soma Chandra Tarot and Soma Chandra Libra. I just wanted to pop on real quick and make a bit of an announcement. I didn't do it earlier this week, so I was like, well, before I do this, I better let them know what's going on. We are getting a name change. I'm rebranding. I've been through a series of evolutions and spiritual cycles since I opened this channel a few years back. My first name of this channel was Basic Bitch Tarot. Some of you remember that. That was just the vibe I was in. And then about a year and a half after that, one morning, my daughter, who was like 14, 13, 14 at the time, who's also intuitive like I am, came into my room one morning and said, Mom, I got a download. You're supposed to change the name of your tarot channel. And I was like, but I love being the Basic Bitch Tarot. She was like, yeah, but you're supposed to change the name. And then she told me about her dream, and then I went and searched for the name, and that's how we came up with Somachandra. Somachandra means gather the moonlight, roughly, in Sanskrit, and that's what her dream was about. So that's why I changed the name of my tarot channel to Somachandra. But it's time for me to move on from that as well. I'll always be Somachandra. That's always going to be a part of me. But it's really time for me to take it to the next level and start to take the work that I'm doing to the next level. And that includes the work I'm doing here on YouTube as a tarot reader. I really am proud of the messages I've delivered to you guys over the years. And I'm so grateful to all of you that came to me for private readings. I think you've taught me more than I could ever teach you. I've done over 5,000 private one-on-one tarot readings in the last 3.5 years as Somachandra Tarot. And I can't thank you all enough for the journey that you've taken me on, because what my readings over the last couple of years have really shown me is it's given me a window into the human psyche and humans in regards to spirituality and their spiritual path on a deeper level. I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't have the knowledge that I have now if it wasn't for all of you. All the readings I've done for you here on YouTube, all the things I learned about my own abilities as a tarot reader through the general readings, and then the things that I saw and learned and observed in the private readings. That's what's really motivated my change. What I'm going to be doing now is incorporating and exposing you guys to more spiritual tools for healing and enlightenment and for your spiritual journey, in addition to tarot. Because tarot is just one tool, right? It's a vehicle that allows the divine to speak through you and through the cards. That's all I'm doing. I'm just a microphone for the cosmos as a tarot reader. And I love using that spiritual tool. I think tarot is my favorite spiritual tool, to be honest. That's why I keep going back to it. Well, I love it so much, but I do have a lot of knowledge about other spiritual tools that I've hinted at and I've talked about over the last couple of years, but I've never really just sat down and said, okay, let's do this. There's more to me as a light worker and a healer and a coach and a tarot reader than what I've shown you. And it's really time for me to show you and upgrade all of us in every way. I'm so excited to take any of you that want to come on this journey with me. So our new name is Moon Body Tarot. I'm going to change the name of the Libra channel to just Moon Body Libra, but it's still going to be me. It's still Somachandra, just with a new name. My website link's still going to be the same. Everything's going to be the same. We just have a new logo and a new name. And I want to introduce you guys to what Moon Body means to me and what my business as a wellness and lightworking practitioner is, which is Moon Body Wellness. I've been so private about it and only really introduced people to that one-on-one when they come to me for spiritual guidance, learning how to self-heal and coach. But I went through my Chiron return a year and a half ago, and ever since then, everything has been preparing me for this moment, this time in my life. I'm going to turn 50 in October, and it's time for me to share my wisdom with you now. It's time for you to get that knowledge into your hands. I'm not doing enough for you by just reading tarot for you. I'm going to keep reading tarot for you, but the readings are going to change. They're going to become more high vibe and less tabloid. There are plenty of tarot readers out there doing the tabloid tarot and the drama. I really want to take our readings and our energy to a higher level. I know the energy is here to pick up on because I'm already picking up on it. Like the readings I have done for next week seem so different than the readings I had been doing for you guys. I can feel all of us rising in our collective energy, and there's just a need for more now. Tarot isn't enough. I want to teach you guys how to have razor sharp primal instincts and primal intuition. I want to teach you how to develop your psychic intuition in the right way, for the right reasons, at the right pace. It's really time for me to teach people how to get in touch with their own intuition so that you need me and you need tarot less and you become more proficient using your own intuition. I also really want to talk to you guys about how we really so need to be using and applying our astrology and our energy mechanics, which is our human design, on a daily basis. This has become more than a system for me. Astrology and human design have become a way of life. It is integral to my trauma-informed coaching practice. It's one of the only spiritual esoteric tools that I incorporate with my clinical practice. That's how profound and amazing I think it is. I mention it in my tarot readings, but I've never really talked to you guys about it or introduced it to you the way I perceive it, the way I apply it. It's time for me to do that with you too. It's also time to do less tarot, and weekly predictions, and talk more so about personal development and spiritual subject matters and the themes that have popped up over and over and over again for years with my private coaching clients and my tarot clients. I really want to start talking about those concepts, healthy spiritual concepts. The whole point of rebranding and the whole point of what I do as Moon Body Wellness is I'm trying to bridge this giant chasm between the world of spirituality and mysticism, which seems to be a go-to tool for people who are in pain and duress, because of course religion and spirituality promise to bring healing and an end to suffering, and it promises to make our lives better. And we're told that there is a spirit source, God, that created us and loves us and is trying to guide us all the time. And so of course spirituality is a natural tool or place that people would go when they're in pain and they're suffering and they're playing out these destructive, awful cycles, and their shadow side is just, their wounded shadow side is just running amok in their lives. And they don't know how to stop it. Of course they're going to turn to the light. They think they're turning to the light and they're turning to spirituality. It totally makes sense why people that are in pain and suffering would do that. But what's I'm trying to do with the work I'm doing now as a spiritual light worker and a spiritual leader and teacher is bridge this gap between the spiritual world and the clinical and mental health world. Because what I've been seeing over the last decade, really, I'm almost 50 years old. I'm older than Google. I'm older than the internet. So I was there in the 80s and 90s. I was a teenager watching the New Age spiritual movement and community take root in this country. And then I've seen how it's changed so much since the birth of the internet. I didn't even know that there was such a thing as YouTube tarot readers a few years ago, and getting into this world opened so many doors for me, and it gave me a window into what modern spirituality is right now, mid-2024, and how it's different from where it started, how it's similar but different from religion, and then how the internet has empowered all of us personally to share our own feelings, wisdom, experience, spiritual knowledge. There's a lot of spiritual gurus out there now, right? The spiritual tools that we're exposed to and have access to are in abundance, but those tools are only as good as your ability to apply them. And they're only going to be helpful if they ground you into reality. And I really feel like there needs the gap between our own mental health and wellness, and then between that and our spiritual path needs to be parallel, because people are already pulling the two together anyways. And I'm seeing that in mostly a negative way and not in a positive way. We now have clinical terms that we use in psychology and in coaching, such as spiritual narcissism, spiritual delusion, spiritual limerence. I'm seeing the spiritual community completely warp and relanguage clinical ideas and negative clinical symptoms and reframing them in a positive, fluffy, spiritual way. And that's really destructive, unhealthy, and confusing people too. And I really want that gap to shrink. I really want to bring awareness to this, and not to call people out and talk about how, codependently disturbed we all are for being the spiritual community. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is I want to be part of the change that I see that needs to happen in the world. I need to do my part. So I walk my talk in my life. It's really time for me to give all of my subscribers and anyone viewing access to how to walk that talk as well. I use both spiritually and clinically healthy and proven methods. I've created a hybrid method for my coaching that is also my personal religion and spiritual path. It's right for me. But the great thing about the Moon Body Method, which is my spiritual path and what I teach, I'm starting to teach to my clients now, is that it is highly customizable. It's a haute couture religion and spirituality, and it gives you the ability to highly personalize your belief system and frame it in such a way that you can realistically live it. You can live your beliefs. That's what my method is about. I help you identify your core self, your higher self, your shadow self. I help you have a thorough understanding of the way you're designed to operate and move through life, which is your human design. I also clue you into the giant, freaking amazing toolbox of health and wellness that is your tropical astrology chart. And that with human design and understanding how we are conditioned by the cosmos, how we are conditioned by the solar system by following transits, the transits of the moon and the transits of the planet in this solar system, which I like to call the neighborhood. That's what I call the solar system, but it's our neighborhood and we live in it, and it's impacting us and influencing us and conditioning us 24/7. So if you want to have a healthy spiritual life and a healthy, happy life where you experience more flow and less resistance, I'll tell you right now, based on what I've personally experienced and what I've helped hundreds of my clients experience, is learning how to live in alignment with your human design and your astrology, and taking and experimenting with the suggestions given to you based on sign and based on the energy type that you are and the role you're meant to play in society and your incarnation cross and your destiny. If you understand those things and you resonate with them and you learn how to get into alignment with them and then ratchet that up into the highest version versus the lowest version of it, you're going to start to see amazing things happen in your life. And it's there for you. It's right there for you all the time. So yeah, I mean, I can keep giving you advice through tarot, or I can teach you how the universe sees you and how I see you. When I look at your charts, when I look at your cards, when I listen to your voices, I see you now the way Spirit sees you, because I've been reading tarot for 30 years. And I've done over 5,000 private readings, which is actually not a lot. It sounds like a lot, but what it's shown me and taught me to do is to take an overview effect of a person and see them in a holistic way, in a comprehensive way, and understanding how you are constantly and always in flow with the solar system. Once you understand that and you see how you operate best in that flow, everything about your life is going to change. Everything about my life changed when I started doing a few things: meditating, praying, exercising, eating healthy food, and no longer eating shit, limiting my use of recreational substances, sleeping 8 hours a night, more if I can, absolutely spending time outdoors in nature, pro social behavior with my family, somatic awareness, somatic meditative journeys, and IFS parts work, and then utilizing my astrology and human design. When I put all of those things together, that's the moon body method. You'll notice that I didn't mention tarot there. That's because tarot is just something I've been doing on the side that really took off during COVID. And now I'm working more one-on-one with my relationship coaching clients, teaching them somatics, teaching them their human design, helping them identify their shadow side traits, helping them cultivate the traits of their core self, the one true soul, helping with the shadow integration and the light work. The shadow work and light work can be done at the same time, and I can teach you how to do it. I can show you how to do it. My human design is I'm a role model hermit, so I can teach it to you, but I'm better at showing it to you. So I figured out how to model behavior through a teaching method that works really good for me as a 6-2. So I want to show you how to do all those things because I want you to look and feel the way I look and feel, ladies and gentlemen, which is happy, healthy, and emotionally sober. I have spiritual sobriety. I have emotional sobriety. And I couldn't always say that in my life. 15 years ago, I was emotionally chaotic and spiritually chaotic. I was not emotionally sober. I was all the way off the wagon. And I even contemplated suicide. I went on quite a journey towards remission with my own mental health. I am a CPTSD survivor. I met pretty much every criteria for every cluster B personality disorder that exists at one point in time. And I brought all of those things into remission. Every single one of them. And a therapist didn't help me do that. One helped me get on the right track, but we did not use a therapeutic method. I had to learn how to do what worked for me. And I didn't learn how to do those things in a church or in a therapist's office. I learned through a process of trial and error and a deep self-noticing and self-awareness. And I had to be willing to get really real and really honest about my wounded shadow side that was literally running around at night on a playground in my life. And it almost took my life and ruined my life until I radically accepted that I was in a place of needing to be revived and needed help. And when I was born again into Source, it was with a sense of personal empowerment that was all based on knowing my own cosmic design and how I express that and what else conditioned me and what else is conditioning me now. We're conditioned by good and bad things all the time. And if I'm going to be a condition or an influence to anyone, to include myself, I want to show you how I walk my talk and what that looks like, because doing all these things saved my life and changed my life. I'm the happiest person I know. And I want you to feel like that too, because I believe that you can. I believe in you. I believe in you. So let's go on a new spiritual journey together where we look at the Fool's journey and we look at our own journey as one and the same. Have a beginner's mindset with me. Please embrace this transition. You're going to notice my readings change. You're going to notice I'm going to talk about some different things. I've never been very woo-woo-y. You guys know that. You guys know that I don't do the woo-woo. I'm not out there. I'm not fond of all these ridiculous new age spiritual terms that I don't understand. All these light codes and pearl sequences and karmic contracts and quantum leaping, twin flames. What? I don't know. Manifesting abundance. Yeah. I mean, I know what those things are, but I think that like just takes us all away from the point. Let's hone in and focus on the good stuff that actually will change our lives and make our lives better. I want to teach you those things because they work, and I think we can all make it work together. So enjoy the new vibe and all the things that I'll be talking about that are a little different now. I will be including more mental health stuff in, but all with a spiritual flair. Um, I've relanguaged 3 different clinical modalities to give them more of a spiritual impact for my clients. And I want to talk to you about that as well. We're going to do all those things. All right, guys. So, welcome to the new vibe. I love you, and I'll see you next week for readings.